I was cutting the yard as I usually do once every 6 months when the lawnmower abruptly died.
I turned the engine, but the engine doesn't turn.
While troubleshooting, I found a full tank of gas, however there was no oil in the engine. My bad. This lack of maintenance on my part caused the engine to seize up and therefore the lawnmower was toast. I persisted in cutting the grass with my trusty weed whacker in order to avoid being fined by the Homeowners Association for having a poorly maintained yard. I used to hate weed whacking when I was a kid. But after several years of being smacked in the face and shins with decent-sized rocks and other solid projectiles, I eventually grew to embrace the artistry of grooming stepping stones, sidewalks, mailboxes, fences, and various objects surrounded by grass. Over the years, I became very fond of my weed whacker and gave it the cute nickname Whizzle Waxer.
The good old-fashioned whistle waxer.
On this day, I was getting a healthy dosage of shock treatment, as I typically do when I drip sweat into the electrical components of my electrifying whizzle waxer. As Murphy's Law would have it, the weed whacker ran out of juice not long after I picked up momentum. I whipped out all my spare gas cans in a desperate attempt to refill my whizzle waxer, but came to the realization that none of my spare gas cans contained the proper mix of oil and gasoline, a necessary blend for the waxer's engine. The waxer was clearly still defective when it was sold to me by Home Depot as a refurbished unit at a slightly cheaper price. At the time, I thought I was getting a deal, but now I know why it was returned and resold at a cheaper price, because it loves to shock people. And by people, I mean me. So I took a short break from working and played a little football with my cans of various sizes, shapes, and colors in order to distract myself from the fact that I was making little to no progress on the lawn. I threw a quarterback pass that was intercepted by the neighbor's roof, and I can only hope they don't get upset with me when they watch the replay. After a long hot day of kicking around on a piece of ground in my hometown, accomplishing practically nothing in the unforgiving Florida heat, it was time to take a bath. When taking a bath, the first thing I like to do is become one with the water. I consider this a form of meditation and a time to deprive myself of basic needs, such as air, in order to empathize with dead people. Sometimes this tricks my dog into thinking his master is drowned. It's a funny prank on your pet when you know he has abandonment issues and separation anxiety.
Can I go in the pool yet?
Let's just wait a minute for this weirdo to leave.
Then I wash my hair 7 times ritually with mane and tail mixed with dog shampoo and rinse it out thoroughly to slow down the rate by which my hairline recedes. Next, I brush my teeth with Colgate or cortisone cream, depending on whether or not I grab the right tube of paste. I submerge myself in the chlorine for a few more hours and play with my bath toys before drying off with my favorite Ninja Turtle towel. Now that I was fresh, I decided that it was time to revisit the Home Depot to get oil for my waxer. Naturally, I procrastinated to make the mission more challenging.
Home Depot closes at 10. It's 9:54. It doesn't look like I'm gonna get there on time. See that? Did I make it? Did I make it? Did I make it open? Yes. Look at that. Look at that. Progress. This looks like it is exactly the same thing. It's about the same exact thing, huh? One's just 25 years old. We're good. I don't know why I'm rushing now. I did it. I made it. Look at the size of those batteries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Locked in. Locked in Home Depot.
About to get run over. 2.6 per gallon. Look at this ginormous beast. Oh, there you go. There you go. The next day, I resumed my work in the yard. If you view the yard as an obstacle course, weed whacking isn't so bad. I would advise that a person wear sunglasses and closed-toed shoes while weed whacking, but sadly, I don't take my own advice. Try to avoid chopping up lizards, frogs, and snakes which might be hiding from you in the deep grass. Bullfrogs, on the other hand, are much more resilient to rapidly spinning wire and won't get shredded into pieces as easily. When I'm careful about my life, I'll cut up a sock and wear it as an armband, which acts as a buffer between the engine and my sweaty flesh to prevent my continual electrocution. But as you can see, I'm not highly concerned with staying alive or even in good health. One lesson I keep learning in life is that people really do get what they pay for. Speaking of paying, I have no desire to pay any more fines for having an unkempt yard, so I decided to pluck this ugly remnant of a bush out of the ground so it's no longer an eyesore to the power-hungry window vandalizers on the board of the Homeowners Association. What I want even less than a fine is a warning, because when they slap that sticky warning paper on my glass window, I know one thing for sure, that thing isn't coming off. I always wondered if they got some sort of twisted satisfaction when they stuck a warning notice on my car window, because it always seems as though they super glued it on. Well, now that I impressed myself by ripping a ginormous tree out of the ground with my bare hands and proved to the neighborhood once and for all that I have superpowers like a real Ninja Turtle, it was time to discard the bush, wipe the dust off my feet, and go to a secret place where I can cry about the scratches I got while ripping it out.
Oh, snap. Look what the bush did to me. Here, there. X marks the spot of my muscles.
That's all for this episode, and I want to thank you guys sincerely from the bottom of my heart for watching all the way to the end. I just want you to know it took a lot longer for me to make than it did for you to watch. And I want you to share, subscribe, like, and send it to all your landscaping friends, because they could learn a thing or two from me, because I'm so awesome. That'll be it. We'll see you next time. I love you guys. I really do love you guys. Not as much as I love fire, though.